There are three types of sessions that are conducted in the Parliament of India. First, budget session from February to May. Second, monsoon session from July to September. And third, winter session from November to December. Now, I will give you a short introduction of the board members. सबसे पहला प्रश्न आपके मन में यही आ रहा होगा कि संसद के में स्पीकर क्या होता है। लोकसभा अध्यक्ष लोकसभा के सदनों की अध्यक्षता करता है और सदनों की कामकाज का संचालन करता है। वह सदन का अनुशासन और मर्यादा बनाए रखता है। और आपके मन में ये भी आ रहा होगा कि ये ट्रेजरी बेंच क्या है। संसद में ट्रेजरी बेंच, जिसको सचिवालय भी कहते हैं, वह पहली सत्र होती है जिसमें वरिष्ठ यानी सीनियर ऑफिसर्स जैसे अटॉर्नी जनरल, सेक्रेटरी जनरल एक्सेट्रा बैठे जाते हैं। संसद में जितनी भी कार्रवाई होती है उसका रिकॉर्ड मेंटेन करने का काम सेक्रेटेरिएट सचिवालय का होता है। मेरी बाईं तरफ बैठे नेता प्रश्न करेंगे और दाईं तरफ बैठे मंत्री उन प्रश्नों पर प्रतिक्रिया कर उत्तर देंगे। Now, show the state of mock parliament performed by the student of class 9 to 12 will show the glimpse of winter session.
स्पीकर महोदय बता रहे हैं। Everybody ready?
I welcome you all to the National Youth Parliament. Today, we will start with the first item in the list of business, that is oath and affirmation. Ms. Secretary General, please.
For the call of the nation.
Honorable members, I have an important announcement to make. It's my side duty to inform you all about our former colleague, Sri Suresh Chand. He was an agriculturist by profession, a social activist who spent most of his lifetime in the upliftment of the backward classes and the downtrodden. He was the president of the Madhur Sabha, Mirzapur, who was an ineffable parliamentarian and our former colleague. But sadly, he died at New Delhi at the age of 35 on 22 October 2022.
I rise to pay my tribute to Mr. Suresh Chandra, whose death has been deeply mourned by all. He was a young man who came from the family of freedom fighters, and his father had made a name for himself. He seemed to be well and happy. The thought of his passing away was very sad for all of us. I would like to express my deep condolences to his family, and he had a great future ahead of him.
Sir, I had the privilege to work with Sri Suresh Chandra as a colleague. He was a person who, because of his lovable nature, never earned anything. He was always with a loving smile and was a very open-hearted person. We had lost a very good social worker, political worker, and public man in him. I would like to associate myself and my party in sending condolences to the village family.
Honorable members, the House must Members, now let us move to the next item in the list of business, that is introduction of new minister. Mr. Prime Minister, please introduce the list of ministers, please.
Honorable Speaker, sir, I have pleasure in introducing to you and through you to the House my colleagues, the new ministers. Mr. Rahul Singh, Minister of Commerce. Next, Ms. Kanchan, Minister of Culture. Ms. Sanjana, Minister of State in the Ministry of Agriculture.
Now the House will take up the next item in the list of business, that is question hour round. We will start with the first question, question 101 from Mr. Aditya.
I would like to ask the Minister of Education to be pleased to state the details of amount collected by the guardians of the students studying in the Kendra Vidyalaya from class 1st to class 12th under various heads like school department funds during the pandemic. Second, the work carried out from the said amount collected into various heads during this period. Third, whether the government is willing to return the amount collected from the unemployed guardians of the students studying in the Kendriya Vidyalaya. Fourth, if so, details thereof, if not, reasons of thereof.
The amount collected under various heads of the unemployed guardians of the students of KVs. Thank you.
Mr. Aditya, any supplementary questions?
No, sir.
The House will move to the next question. The House is now open for any supplementary questions. Moving towards the next question, question 102 from Ms. Varubi.
Honorable Speaker, sir, through you, I would like to ask the Minister of Road, Transport and Highways to state the number of registered electric vehicles and the number of EV charging stations in the country. Whether the government is aware about the insignificant number of EV charging stations in the country. If so, whether an initiative have been taken to provide EV charging stations in the prominent places of states and country.
Honorable Minister of Road, Transport and Highway.
Honorable Speaker, through you I would like to answer the question raised by Ms. Varubi regarding electric EV vehicles and public charging stations. For the very first question, the total number of electric vehicles in the country as per Vahan 4 data on 25th March 2022 is about 10,76,420 vehicles, and a total of 1,742 public EV charging stations have been established as per the Bureau of Energy Efficiency and are operational. As for the question A, B and C, the Ministry of Power has issued charging infrastructure for the electric vehicles, the revised consolidated guidelines and standards on 14 January 2022 to accelerate the e-mobility transition in the country under the scheme for fast adoption and manufacturing of electric vehicles in India. Phase 2 of the Ministry of Heavy Industries, 2,877 public EV charging stations have been sanctioned in 68 cities. Action plans have been prepared for 8 cities with.
Moving towards the next question, question 113 from Ms. Palak.
Sir, will the Minister of Agriculture be pleased to state that the cheap food grains available to about 2/3 of country's population at the price of Rs 1, Rs 2 could it cause the pressure more than about double annually? Then, what the government has projected, could the plan cause pressure India daily, and don't the ministry think that the food subsidy will help advance agriculture?
Honorable Minister of Agriculture and Food Grains.
Honorable Speaker, I would like to thank honorable members for bringing such concern to the floor of the House. The government has estimated that it will need a budget of 1.2 trillion, which is a little more than 22 billion, to fund all the food subsidies, including new one. Under the food security program, the government has decided to provide food grains at very subsidious rate, that is, through 3 rupees a kilo for wheat, 2 rupees a kilo for rice, and 1 rupees a kilo for other food grains. Presently, at several stores, rice is sold at 20 to 30 rupees per kilo, which is 7 times more than what we can buy under this program. I ensure that no one will die of hunger. No one will have to send their children for the food, and this will definitely wipe the tears of many. The answer to the question is agriculture subsidies and the government subsidy, which is provided to farmers and agri-businesses so that they can supplement their income and manage the agriculture commodities and influence the cost and supply of such commodities, thus also guarantees them a price floor and provide them extra money for the food and crops. The world has enough for everyone but not for anyone's greed. आखिर में हम यही कहेंगे, अगर विकास चाहिए तो सच्चा प्रयास कीजिए, यूं ना गुमराह कीजिए, यूं ना हवा में बात कीजिए।
Ms. Palak, any supplementary questions? The floor is now open for any supplementary questions. Moving towards the next question, question 104 from Ms. Sakshi.
Honorable Speaker, sir, through you, I would like to state that for women, the country is still a house of terror. Will tourism in India will be affected by the foreign tourism? If so, what kind of step will be taken as a minister to enhance the image of our nation through worldwide?
Honorable Minister of Culture.
Such issues will create a sense of insecurities among parties. But I am very confident to say that my history has taken and will take steps forward to tackle these issues with a collaboration with Ministry of Home Affairs.
Ms. Sakshi, any supplementary questions? The floor is now open for any supplementary questions. Yes, Ms. Bhavna.
महोदय, मैं इको टूरिज्म के प्रति चिंता के लिए माननीय मंत्री महोदया की सराहना करती हूँ, लेकिन क्या सरकार ने अब तक इको टूरिज्म को बढ़ावा देने पर ध्यान दिया है?
Honorable Minister of Culture.
आदरणीय स्पीकर महोदय, मैं जो प्रश्न मिस भावना ने पूछा है उसका उत्तर दूंगी। पर्यटन मंत्रालय की कार्यसूची अलग होती है, जिसे जिम्मेदारी और विशिष्ट ढंग से संभाला जाता है, और पर्यटन को एक देश में बढ़ाना ही मूल कार्य होता है, हितधारकों को बढ़ाना ताकि कानूनी पर्यटन आचरण बढ़े। इसके साथ ही बहुत सारे पुरस्कार भी दिए जाते हैं, जैसे बेस्ट इको फ्रेंडली होटल, और सबसे बड़ा पुरस्कार है नेशनल टूरिज्म अवार्ड, जो कि हर साल दिया जाता है। आखिर में मैं बस इतना ही कहना चाहती हूँ, प्रकृति ने हम सबको दिया जीवन जीने का अनुभव संदेश, आओ मिटाओ वक्त की दूरी और दूर हटाओ कष्ट कलेश। दिस इज माई सफिशिएंट रीजन।
No. Any supplementary questions?
No, sir.
No more supplementary questions. Question hour ends here. Yes, Mr. Dwivedi.
Sir, a serious bill of privilege has been committed by Coach Bihar District Authority. Without any reason, they have invited me to address a peaceful gathering on 5th of August in this year. The authority attributes this honest motive, and I am requesting you to allow me to raise a question on this matter now.
Is it? Really? It is a matter of great concern, but you cannot bring a surprise on me like this. The matter will reach to me, and then I will let you know my decision.
I have submitted you till 10 a.m., but it hasn't reached you till now.
Matter will reach to me, and then I will let you know my decision. Now, papers to be laid. Honorable Minister of Commerce and Industries.
Sir, through you, I beg to lay on the table number 1, review by the government, the working of the Chemicals and Elite Product Export Production Council Kolkata for the year 2022 to 2023. Number 2, annual report of the Seller and Forest Product Export Promotion Council Kolkata of the year 2022 to 23. Number 3, review by the government of the working of the Plastic Export Promotion Council Mumbai for the year 2022 to 23. Thank you.
Now moving towards the next item in the list of business, that is message from the upper chamber. Ms. Secretary General, please lay the message received from the upper chamber.
Sir, I have to report the following message received from the Secretary General of Upper Chamber. I am directed to inform the Youth Parliament that the Sexual Harassment of Women at Workplace Prevention, Prohibition and Redressal Bill 2021 has been passed by the Upper House as its sitting held on 15 July 2022.
Ms. Secretary General, to lay on the table of the Sexual Harassment of Women at Workplaces, Prevention, Prohibition and Rectifying Act of 2021 as passed by the Upper Chamber.
Sir, I lay on the table of the House the bill as passed by the Upper Chamber.
Now, the House will take up the next item in the list of business, that is calling attention motion. Yes, Ms. Himani.
Participate in this debate. The only thing I would like to point out is that though this bill tries to cover one social evil, the fact remains that many people in this country are still utilizing innocent children to materialize their vested interest, taking the loopholes of the laws. The government should seriously consider as how the building block of the nation can be saved by passing the rigorous punishment to the offenders.
Honorable Minister of Women and Family.
Coming to the part of legislation, I am not able to understand the necessity of a new law There is a plethora of laws and acts that ensure the protection of child against any kind of exploitation. For example, Child Labour Prohibition and Regulation Act 1986. In 1996, the Supreme Court of India, in a historical judgment, banned the employment of children in hazardous industries and ordered for the creation of corpus fund of 25,000 rupees from the employer and the government to ensure the compulsory education of the child, taking a due from the above judgment. The employer should provide children with at least the basic facilities of healthy working conditions. The employer should also provide children with medical benefits, with housing insurance, recreational and educational benefits. Give them free meals, books, stationery and uniform to sustain the child's.
Yes, Miss Preeti.
Speaker sir, I am grateful to all the honorable members for lending support to my resolution in view of the insurance given by the honorable Minister of Women and Child Development, and since a law has already been enacted to with such manage. I hope that the government will take all the taken measures to eliminate this problem, because there is nothing more precious to our parents than a child. There is nothing more important to the country's future than the safety of all our children. Therefore, I may be allowed to withdraw this resolution. Thank you.
As the honorable members leave of the House to withdraw a resolution, please raise your hands to vote in favor of withdrawal of a resolution. Hands down. By the leave of the resolution is withdrawn. Now the House is adjourned to meet again at 11 a.m. tomorrow.